The one thing I will say is that there was never a day where Don was showing us a house or talking to us via phone or email, all of which he did so very quick reaction times. I was very impressed with that, very professional, but we never parted ways at the end of a day or at the end of a phone call where it left me with questions. 100% clarity all the time. And I was always at ease and never stressed about the process. Hi, my name is Joe Graham and just recently bought a home in the Xenia, Ohio area. What led me to connect with Don and Cindy was my wife doing some shopping around to find a good realtor, and they had essentially the highest ratings of anybody within the local area. So that's why we went with them to try and find a home where I could help my family set down roots. Working with Don and Cindy was easy compared to what I've heard from folks, colleagues that have been in the home buying business for quite some time. So there was a little bit of hesitation going into it, but after working with Don, it was clear that he was far professional, that knew what he was doing and knew how to get ahead of issues that he knew we would ultimately ask and point out during the process. There were some unique, I'll just say, behaviors from Don's end that made it a lot easier to get through the home buying process. He did a really good job of one, planning out multiple houses per day. I know this is going to sound trivial, but making it to where we weren't going back and forth across town. It was very logical. There were a lot of times also where we'd be asking questions and the questions would seem to compound on each other and we might miss one. He'd go, also, you might want to think about this, and he'd point something out, and he would ask the question for us, and then, of course, he would answer it, which made life a lot less stressful for us as home buyers. Don did a really good job of pointing out a lot of things that the inspector was gonna to annotate, and he did a phenomenal job of walking through the final inspection report, which is great. And he also talked about on a scale of severity, money investment, time in order to fix things, he expressed his objective opinion on why we should or should not ultimately be concerned about certain things. But I think because of how he handled the entire thing all the way through signing all the documents and taking our picture, it's made me appreciate the home buyer's stance, but also I would be a little bit more cognizant when it comes time for me to be a seller, purely because of how involved Don was with the process. What would I say to anybody else that's considering them? I would say don't waste your time looking at anybody else. Go right to them because you don't want to waste your time because time is the only thing in life that we can never get back. So just skip all the other realtors and legitimately go right to Don and Cindy. 100%.